What's happening, everybody? This is the Pensive Brothers podcast. This is Aaron.
This is Elliot.
Hope everybody out there is having a fantastical day.
Fantastical.
So we have officially crossed the Rubicon.
Rubicon.
Yes, whatever that means. We are back. This is a big deal. This is season 3.
Yeah, because we took a long break.
Yeah, we did actually.
Listen, we had a lot of stuff going on. I needed the break.
Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all.
Hey, listen.
Because while we were gone, let's kind of review here.
I know, right?
Joe Biden's term basically ended about 8 months ago.
It ended.
Yeah, now we're basically in Netanyahu's presidency until January of next year.
Yeah, at least.
Donald Trump was charged with 91 criminal charges.
That he might get away with for nonsense reasons.
Bro, did you hear about the Fonnie Willis stuff?
Yes, we're going to talk about
that. Okay, we'll get to that later. Don't worry about that.
Because, bro, we're going to talk about it. Anyway.
So irresponsible. What else has been going on? I mean, we all heard about the Cat Williams thing where Cat Williams is attacking the entire industry for a multitude of reasons. Some valid, some kind of nonsense. But
this man came out the gate.
Yeah, swinging. Full swings.
Like Mike Tyson swinging.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. It's been a lot going on, man.
Yeah.
A lot going on. And so right now we find ourselves in the midst of a new presidential election.
Yeah. New primaries. New Hampshire just finished yesterday.
Yeah. So
Iowa, I think, was last week.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like our country is going through a lot. So we're gonna kind of dive into all that. But before we go politics deep, I need everybody, please like and subscribe, comment
what he said,
all of that. Please, it really helps out a lot. And if anything, if you don't want to comment, share the stream, share the videos, share it with your friends. If you enjoy our content, we definitely would be greatly appreciative of that.
Send it to somebody who you know is gonna hate it.
Yeah, I know. Maybe it might educate them and they'll stop saying things that you don't like.
You got Republican friends? Send this to them. We love those.
So I'm dreading. Just let's do it. All right. So right now we're in the middle of a presidential election. Okay. So I'm like, it's like the nerd in me is excited, but the American in me knows that this is going to be a crapshoot.
I mean, the U.S. citizen in you is like, oh no, these are not good options.
No. And how many elections in a row have we had all bad options, bro? Like, it's kind of ridiculous at this point, the fact that we continue to inevitably elect people that the electorate is saying that they don't want.
Well, it's only odd if that's not the system working
the way it was built designed.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
So as of now, I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all. It's gonna be Donald Trump versus Biden. Unless one of them dies, or unless Donald Trump's court cases do something, it's gonna be Trump versus Biden. Yeah. Like everyone that's out here running around pretending like RFK or one of these other guys, Dean Phillips, whatever, is gonna do something. They're not. All the Republicans have dropped out except Nikki Haley.
Well,
Dean Phillips got 19%? Well, Biden wasn't on the ballot.
Okay, hold on, because. Yes, Biden wasn't on the ballot,
and he still got like 53% of the vote.
He also as a write-in candidate, the most money in New Hampshire.
True,
even though he wasn't on the ballot. So
and it's kind of, and then you got to keep in mind. So let's kind of go through this a little bit. Yeah. So let's start with the Democrats, and then we'll move over to the Republicans. So as far as the Democrats are concerned, the Democratic establishment, the Democratic Party, is trying as hard as they can to just get rid of the primary. Like there is no primary.
Pretend it didn't happen.
Pretend it's not happening. Primaries. So you've got a couple of candidates in the race right now. Dean Phillips, Marianne Williamson, and technically Cenk Uger's in the race, but
there apparently also was a person called, what is it, Vermin Supreme? Apparently that was a thing.
That sounds like a rodent pizza.
Or like a bad band name.
Yeah. Or maybe the name of a pretty aggressive wrestling finishing move.
Actually, that does sound like a bomb.
Yeah, like
wrestling
some type
move
of
name.
Like a power bomb off the top ropes.
Shout out to Lil Tony.
Yeah. So anyway.
And John, actually.
Right. And Jamal and Neek.
Hey.
Yeah. So
it's a whole lot of fans out there.
So anyway, the Democrats are trying to make sure that no one can basically run. So they're doing a media blackout.
Correct.
They haven't gotten any town halls. You guys have probably seen Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley. They'll have a CNN town hall or a CBS town hall, or Fox News town hall.
How did Mike Pence, I sign bombs that are going to blow up children, Mike Pence,
he got
a town hall
where he got negative 13% of the vote. Literally everyone in the country with the last name Pence voted for Trump. So it's like he got a town hall. Like I don't think that he would have voted for himself.
Right.
So I mean,
he wrote Trump on his ballot.
And that's the thing, right? So I get frustrated with the media because you know that these types of things wouldn't happen if it wasn't for the media.
Well,
so the media is on both sides. So the Republicans, they have the right-wing media, the Fox Newses of the world, and the One America News and all that, and the Charlie Kirks of the world that are gonna blast their message out and keep it going. But the Democrats always complain and say, "Oh, we don't have left-wing media," but no, the mainstream media is not giving those town halls because they are also making sure no one can challenge Biden.
Well, I think the problem we've run into is we are at probably the most extreme corporate money controlled media situation that I think we've been in modern history. Yeah. So this is literally a second Gilded Age. Like the consolidation of money in the hands of fewer and fewer and fewer people. The interesting thing is they are not making mistakes of, the robber barons before. So it's not one family out loud saying, hey, we own everything and making themselves a target. Instead, it's a bunch of people who you've never heard of and you've never seen on the internet who own just enough of a couple of companies getting along together with a bunch of other families who kind of own big chunks of a bunch of stuff. And then they all go to BlackRock and say, okay, don't let them talk about this.
Right. And literally it's that simple. So the narrative is the Democratic primary is not happening.
Yeah. So, no. It's not that it's not happening. It's that there is no primary. Because the difference is,
saying it's not happening is implying that it exists.
That it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
That we're doing something different.
Yeah, there is no primary.
Right. No.
There's no such thing as a Democratic
primary. He already
primary
won.
It's already
happened.
Over.
It's over.
Yeah. So to keep it short, we keep it short here. So what they did in 2020, if you guys remember, Bernie Sanders was winning at the beginning of the election.
Yeah.
When all the candidates dropped out and did what Jamal Bowman calls jumped him, were basically all of the candidates, with the exception of Elizabeth Warren.
Right. Because she had to split his.
Yeah. It dropped out. Like, so that's Beto O'Rourke, that's Kamala Harris, Amy Klobuchar, Pete Buttigieg, etc. Tom Steyer, I think. They all dropped out, endorsed Biden. Yeah, Andrew Yang. Biden began winning. He began that winning with South Carolina. So when Bernie won, remember Bernie won Nevada?
Yeah. And everybody was freaking out.
Yeah, and they were like, okay, we got to do something. So what they decided was, because Biden did so good in South Carolina last time, let's push South Carolina to first next time so that we can have a little bit of credibility behind the idea of saying that the election is already over. So they tried to force New Hampshire, who is the first primary of the election season. See, Iowa's a caucus. It's not a primary. Right. So New Hampshire was supposed to be the first primary. And it's in their state constitution that they have to go first.
Like,
it's not
a
like
law.
It's not like, oh, we want to go first. No, they don't have a choice. It's part of their election laws in the state.
And it's funny.
It's in their constitution.
The way it's written is our primary has to be 7 days minimum before any other primary that happens in the country for presidential elections. So it's that black and white.
So what ended up happening was they set the date for South Carolina, which is mad early, right? So New Hampshire did what New Hampshire does. They was like, okay, well, we just took that date and picked the date before that. So the Biden campaign and the DNC said, your election doesn't count then. No one cares. So New Hampshire took Biden off the ballot.
Off the ballot, yeah.
So Biden is now a write-in candidate in New Hampshire. So New Hampshire voted last week. Biden got like 53% of the vote as a write-in. Yeah. It wasn't very many votes, to be honest. Dean Phillips came in second.
Yeah.
Marianne Williamson came in at like 9%.
Like a very far third.
Yeah, and then
it was a bunch of undecided.
And then there was like, I saw something that said unregistered voter candidate or something. I think that was Jank.
So okay, there was a campaign recently to write in ceasefire because there are a bunch of people who want to vote for Biden, but they're upset about his decision
support
making
for the war in
going
Israel.
around
Gaza, not Israel.
Yeah, around the war in Israel and Gaza. So they were like, no, we don't want to vote for anybody else.
I'm not going to be referring to that as a war. So I'm telling you now, I will be referring to it as the slaughter in Gaza.
I'm good with that.
So go ahead.
But yeah, so a couple of points on this, right? It is really concerning to me how often in history Democrats are the first to do something really undemocratic, and then it gets replicated in other places. So the Democrats were the first ones to really kick off we're just not going to have a primary thing.
2016?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Republicans tried to do it. The difference is when a Republican voter says, hey, if you just put up somebody I don't like and tell me that's who I have to vote for, I'm just not going to vote. They really mean it. So they will really just go rogue.
Yeah.
So the party recognized, our base don't function that way. We got to go with whoever they choose or we will just not win.
And it sucks because as a Democratic voter, it's like you kind of get jealous where it's like their politicians recognize the Trump voters are the power base. They're the power base. Yes. So they look at the Trump supporters and they say, hey, I can't just not listen to nothing they say.
Right.
Where on the Democratic side, first of all, over 70% of the Democratic Party doesn't want Biden to run. Or is it 70% of the country? I think it is.
It's 70% of the country.
Yeah, and I think it's like over 50% of the Democratic voter base is like Biden's too old to run. And the party takes that information and they say, oh, no one cares. Literally. Like the giant percentage on all of the issues. We are not even about to go through it.
We don't got to go through
for all, universal free college, like making the rich pay more taxes, like all these things. The Democratic Party does nothing. Nothing. So, okay, so to finish this off, so basically, Biden won New Hampshire, like we just said.
Yep.
It's only a matter of time till Dean Phillips and Marion drop out. I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah.
Marion got 9%. Dean Phillips got 19%.
He got 19% in New Hampshire.
I think, it's over.
I hesitate to call it over right away.
I don't.
There are other circumstances that we still need to keep an open mind. Now, if things continue at the direction
Which
and
circumstances? Biden dying?
Well, there is that, but I was thinking more like there are a lot of people in other states that aren't New Hampshire who are not going to just write ceasefire in and vote for Biden anyway. So to the point that Democrats are very cynically making because they don't care at all about New Hampshire being too white. Like they're using that as an excuse to reorder the primaries.
Yeah,
but they do not care. They don't care about that at all. They just care that they think having South Carolina go first is really good for the guy that they actually want to win.
Right. Which is so unfortunate because similar to all the Republican senators and congressmen that don't want Trump, but they're kind of just falling in line. I don't think that all of those Democratic staffers really think that Biden is the best choice. I think that they just are looking at the state of what they got going on, and they don't want to uproot the apple cart. Well, I really think that's really what it is.
I think it's deeper than that. I think it's dangerous when you are blatantly undemocratic.
Yeah, I agree. And then it also undercuts their argument that Trump is against democracy, which he is.
That is
Trump
exactly
is a danger to democracy, which he is. It's kind of like the people that cry racism when there's no actual racism.
Yes.
Like literally Joe Biden is Jussie Smolletting us right now. So he's running around saying Trump is a danger to democracy. This is the most important election of all time. But we're going to be undemocratic too. Well, now nobody's going to nobody's going to take what you're saying serious.
Well, it's not even just that. It's also if you are undemocratic, then when it actually comes time to say, hey, they're being fascist, you have no
credibility.
None. And like
you're the boy who cried wolf.
It's almost worse because they're gonna say, oh well, it was okay. So we're gonna do it too. And then you can come back and try and be democratic.
Right. Like I be telling my wife sometimes, oh, so you mad at me for it, but when you did it, you expected me to be okay with that.
So no, I'm gonna get my lick and then
I don't get my lick. I just be letting her have it. I love you, baby. All right. So
Anyway.
we're gonna switch over to Republicans real quick.
Yeah. So Trump won. The end.
Yeah, so we can go and wrap this up. So
this has been. No, I'm just joking.
So basically, just to kind of give y'all a synopsis here, the Republican primary is going on right now. There were a lot of candidates in the race. I'm gonna be real. You had Tim Scott, the senator from South Carolina. You had Chris Christie, Mike Pence.
Oh, I forgot all these people.
Yeah, they all dropped out immediately because there was
like before the first votes were cast.
Yeah,
it was like, we have no chance.
They were getting spanked like immediately.
Yeah, I think it was like 80% Trump.
Like the idea
the first
that
10 polls,
you're in a race and the guy that doesn't even show up to the debates is beating you by 40. It's not Asa Hutchinson.
Real question.
Like,
if it doesn't matter what the parties do, everybody just picks the guy that they've decided on. Why do we have parties?
We have parties because we have parties. Like, there's no reason for them. They do nothing for us. It's not like the Democratic Party is so effective and they won all these elections. They lose a crap ton. The only reason that they're winning is because right now the Republicans suck. Like, they got rid of Roe v. Wade and they're still paying for that. Trump's election denialism, they're still paying for that and still doing it. Both parties are reliant on the other party sucking, because the only reason that Republicans win elections is because Democrats do crap like this whole ending democracy, the war in Gaza. That's the only reason that Republicans win. And the only reason Democrats win is because they try to stop people from having abortions. So if either alternative just decided, you know what, we're going to be a good party now, the other party would get destroyed.
Well, not only that, Democrats really seem to be very weird about the border right now. So, like,
well, some of the Democrats are criticizing Biden on the border, and some aren't. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm no
that's a big point.
Immigration hawk or we got to deport all these people type. Like, I don't think that's a great way to approach that problem.
Yeah, because not gonna. It was just gonna be. It's kind of like if you just deport a bunch of people tomorrow, that's not gonna stop the people that are on their way here now. Like, you have to implement a long-term plan.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but that's not even the problem. I think when you are looking at what makes our country great, part of what makes our country great is that we steal people from everywhere. So I don't not good
think that what makes us great.
Because I mean,
I don't mean some of those stolen people.
Because we did that too. No.